All right, here we are at our 2018 Scarab 255G jet boat for sale. We're here near the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee today. Obviously, we're off the water today. This is a one-owner boat. This one was originally purchased up in Indiana. It was used briefly up there before the owner relocated and brought it down here to Norris Lake. And it's been here for just about the majority of its 47 engine hours. Of course, this is a twin engine powered boat. It's powered by twin Rotax 150 jet propelled engines. It's a 25-foot LOA, that's length overall, with an 8-foot 4-inch beam. That's the width of the boat. And then I do want to point out, so this is basically what we mean by jet propulsion. That's your intake grate. And water goes up into that intake grate. There's basically a little tunnel inside where there's a propeller, but because it's inside the boat, it's actually called the impeller, and that's going to force the boat out the back. And then we've got these grates back here, one for either engine or either jet pump. Those grates deflect that water. So right now, I believe it's in the neutral position where it's kind of deflecting just a portion of that water, enough to basically maintain the boat in its current position. When you go to reverse, those gates drop down a little bit farther and it starts deflecting the water forward of the boat. And then of course, when you go forward, the gates raise all the way up, and all of the force that's coming through those jet pumps is pushing out the back of the boat. So people do like these. They can, be safer than your traditional stern drive, where you've got a lower unit and a prop hanging out from under the boat. So with this, basically that prop is well inside of those jet pumps. So if you've got youngsters or swimming off the back of the boat, you basically have it's a much safer setup, as well as a much shallower draft. The draft is how deep the water needs to be in order for this boat to run. And so for that one, it's 15 inches. And really the 15 inches is so that it's not pulling debris off the bottom of the lake up into that intake grate. So that's why you have the 15 inch. So tandem axle trailer with dual disc brakes is also included. Got a 2-inch trailer ball on this one. And I do want to point out, we sometimes forget the wear and tear on the trailers. When we get to the second part of the video, we start mentioning all that, but we are missing that dust cover on that axle. That's a Vortex dust cover for those axles right there. The other 3 tires do have that cover, and those are 2019 tires. It's a 2018 trailer. It's probably a late delivery. And then we've also got a removable tongue up here on the front of this trailer. So you can see that pin right there. It's actually a collar right there. That whole front of that trailer can actually be removed for storage. So if you've got a tight space in your garage, this is almost going to give you the storage space of I would say probably just over 25 feet, maybe 26 feet to be safe. You can see that winch stand comes out just a little bit beyond that bow up there on the front. And then back here on the back, you really don't have anything extra hanging off. So go ahead and walk over and give you a view of the other side right quick. I'm gonna the heat has really been giving us some challenges here, working on some listings. Our equipment is having a hard time operating with the heat that we're getting. So that's why you hear that truck running. That's whenever we needed to, we're putting our camera equipment in there and letting it cool back off so we can go again. So we're gonna try to get this one done all in one go here before our equipment shuts down. So here on the back here, obviously we've got a nice deep 4-step swim boarding ladder. We've basically only got 3 of those steps out here before it's hitting the ground. I love that we've got these little grab handles right here at the top of either side of that swim ladder to help everybody get out of the water when help is needed. You're gonna have your ski tow hook right here. That's where you're gonna put your rope for pulling anybody skiing, wakeboarding, or in a towable, inner tube or anything like that. We've got this marine matte flooring throughout, snap-in marine matte flooring in the cockpit. This is all basically the glue down type. We do have a little bit of wear back here in this this matting. And then this is basically a large storage compartment right here. We've got a drain on either side, a little bit of dirt in there. But I do want to point out we've got these little stress cracks on the insides of these hatches. We've actually got that on both sides. So I do want to point that out. But again, another drain down there on that side. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and use that step-up ladder. We've got 14 stainless cup holders throughout. This one's rated for 13, and that's your first pair of those is back here on the swim platform. We've got very versatile seating on this one. You can see right there, those seat backs simply slide the other way. Now you've got a nice little rear-facing lounge seat whenever you're back here on the swim platform. Maybe you're back in a cove, anchored out. Kids are swimming off the back of the boat. And then whenever you start going forward again, simply just pull that the other way. Now there's your forward-facing seat. We've also got a nice, easy walk-through transom right here. Anybody's watched any number of our videos, you've probably heard me talk about. This is a feature I like on any boat where you can get from the swim platform into the cockpit without having to step on or over a seat is a great option in my opinion. It's going to save you a lot of wear and tear on your upholstery. So just like that. Now also this one has a filler cushion. Let me grab it right here. I tucked it in there behind that driver's seat. There's our filler cushion for that center seat. So this, in my opinion, this is even better because now when you've got a full crew, or if you've got all 13 people that you can have on this one, if you've got with you at the lake, now all of a sudden you've got the ability to use that as a seat as well. And then another really neat thing I liked about this one on our seating, see, we got a little filler cushion right there. We don't have one over here. Well, actually we do. It's just not pulled out. These are on hinges. As simple as that. I love the fact that those filler cushions are kind of hinged onto that where they fold in and out, which means you're never going to have to be looking for that filler cushion or having to store it. You basically got all of those things are accounted for. You've got some storage underneath that hatch as well, 2 fenders down there. Now I do want to point out we've got some loose hardware over here on this side. This is actually a integrated through bolt, but what's happened here on the inside is those screws have just kind of missed that mounting block right there, so that just needs to be those screws just need to be taken over a little bit. So that's going to be easy fix with the power drill. Probably even be fixed with a screwdriver with a little bit more effort. And then over here, this is going to be the same way. Lift that up. Now that's our cockpit cover right down in there, and then simply, and that one's on there good and tight. That hardware is. So just like that, now it's stored away. Got some more space to move about. But again, whenever you need more seating, just simply fold that out, pop it into place. 3 covers for this one. We've got that cockpit cover that I just pointed out in that hatch. We've also got a snap-on bow cover, and then we've got a full mooring cover. So here's 3 more of those 14 total stainless steel cup holders. 3 more on the other side. We've got some interior cockpit lighting throughout. We function test everything on here. Again, this is a 1-owner FreshWater used boat, 47 engine hours. Everything passed function testing, our blower, our bilge, our stereo, all 4 of our stereo speakers, and both our navigation light and our anchor lights as well. Bimini top is stowed overhead. That's in the storage boot right now. And then here about the middle of the boat where our driver's helm is, we've got the flip-up passenger and driver seat, or flip-up bolster passenger and driver seats. Both of these seats are going to swivel as well as slide forward and back. And then you've got the ease of just simply raising that front part of that seat up for that bolster seat. It's going to give you a better view over top of your dash, especially if you've got that full load of 13 passengers or 13 people on this one. It's going to give you the ability to see over top your bow when you're running. Nice tilt steering wheel here at your driver's helm as well. You've got the single shift and throttle. That's going to be for both of those engines. Basically, I think what they did is they try to simplify the operation of these. Some of your older models, you're going to have a different shift and throttle for each engine. They've just made it more user friendly right now. They're going to automatically sync the RPM of both of those engines. That's your single shift and throttle shift controller right there. And then, again, we function test everything. There's your functional horn. There's your blower. Here's your bilge pump. navigation lights with past function testing, and then I've got the dash turned on right here, and I want to show you our some of our controls right here. Well, obviously, first thing I want to point out, we do have a little bit of crack on this kind of plastic screen right here on our dash display. Now, that end is showing you what gear we're in. We're in neutral. That's where the shifter is right here in that center position. And then these are going to be your engine hours, 47 on both port starboard engine. You're going to have a fuel bar up here at the top of that display. And then, of course, this is your port side tachometer, starboard side tachometer, and your speedometer right here. And we've got the ability to kind of change the display in here. So that's going to be RPM of your starboard side engine, your port side engine. There's a clock. There's that instant fuel flow. That's that gallons per hour that I was just making reference to. There's your engine temp for starboard motor, engine temp port side engine. There's your speed. Your RPM for your starboard side, RPM for port side. There's your clock, and then back to that instant fuel flow right there. But again, you've got that. You've got basically both tachometers and your speedometer right here. So a little bit of personal preference here, but this would probably be how I would like mine set up. I like seeing that gallon per hour reading. That's a feature that's not available on a lot of boats. My opinion, anytime you have that feature, use it. You know, you're going to be able to kind of maximize your fuel economy or fuel efficiency when you're out. You'll be surprised. Oftentimes, just some minor RPM adjustments can make a big difference to your fuel economy usage. Now, just to the right of that display, of course, you've got that stainless steel cup holder right here at your driver's seat as well, but we've got a Humminbird Helix 5. This is going to be a depth and fish finder sonar along with GPS Chartplotter. So it's going to be one of the sonar screens. And obviously, we're not in the water, so we're not going to get an accurate, reading on our depth, and it's not going to show any fish or anything like that. You're going to have water temp right here. Of course, that's air temp today. That's why our camera equipment's struggling a little bit. And then you're also going to have a GPS speed readout right there. You can hit this view a few times. Going to give you different variations of your sonar. That's just going to be larger input for both your clock, your water temp, and then your GPS speed. And then these couple different sonar screens. And eventually we'll get over here to there's going to be your GPS chart plotter. Now that's a full screen right there. Also kind of shows you where we're at. Obviously we're off the water today, but we're just a short distance up there to beautiful fresh waters of Norris Lake. And hit exit on that, kind of returns that to where we're located. And you can do this with the compass overlay right there. And then that's going to be a split screen, basically both chart plotters on either side there. That's going to be a similar screen with a compass over top. And then this is going to be the split screen. Again, a lot of personal preference. This is going to be my usual go-to. I like having the chart plotter on one side, depth and fish finder on the other side, just so the convenience of not having to switch that screen around and see what you want. That kind of gives you everything right there in one view. Now, let me go ahead and turn that key off. So directly across from our driver's seat, again, we've got that passenger seat with that flip-up bolster as well. And then just forward of our passenger seat is going to be your head compartment. This is going to be where a porta potty can be installed. I believe this was offered as an option when this boat was new. They opted not to have the porta potty put in, but you do have the compartment for it. So again, this is a great option in my opinion. You've got that storage space whenever you're not using it. But again, in my opinion, you mount your little porta potty in there. Might buy you some extra time out on the water, depending on what the needs are with your group or your family. And then small little counter right here. We've got a little, excuse me here. We've got a little light right here as well. And then this is going to be your kicker stereo. This is going to be an AM, FM, USB auxiliary inputs right here, as well as a Bluetooth stereo. We've got 4 speakers throughout, 2 back here in the cockpit, 2 more up in the bow. It's going to be a dual USB charger right here, and then your standard 12-volt charger right there. Got a small little storage net right there if you do have some devices plugged in, getting a charge or hooked to the stereo. They're going to stay in place right there with that little nut. Crawl out of there, close that compartment. And then I do want to back up and show you our large in-floor storage locker, excuse me, that little bit of camera movement actually. Right now we're actually got an ice pack on our camera trying to make it work in this heat. So I do apologize for any extra camera movements you're seeing there. That's going to be your mooring cover. So again, snap-on cockpit cover, bow cover, and then the full mooring cover. That's 2 support poles right there. And this is going to be your anchor light that's in this stored right underneath this hatch. I love that there's a dedicated storage space for that, so that you know where to find it when you need it. I'll walk through up to the bow area. Before I go through that, we've got another storage compartment just forward of our driver's helm right here. That's where you're going to have your running lights. That's going to be your bow navigation light. That's another support pole there for our covers. And then we've got a smaller in-floor storage locker right here. That one is missing that gas shock. It just needs to be reattached right there. And then we've got storage underneath our seats up here. These are all on hinges. That's that snap-on bow cover. Another one right here. I love having these seats on a hinge. Makes it so easy to lift it up with one hand. You can even lean into it to hold it up, get out what you need, then lay it back down. And when we've got a nice large built-in self-draining cooler up here in the bow, as well as an anchor locker up here with another boarding ladder. This is going to be a 3-step boarding ladder for boarding on and off the bow, as well as dedicated anchor storage locker. So we've got some nice grab bars up here. Depending on who's driving this one, you might need those. With these twin jet propelled engines, this can be a fun ride out in the water. 4 stainless cup holders up here and 2 of those speakers up here as well. Now generally, once we've kind of gone through the full walk around, talked about all the features, that's when we like to roll right into the wear and tear stuff. Now we're still going to raise the engine hatch, but while I'm up here in the bow, in the interest of saving a little time to possibly get through this one before our equipment shuts down, we do have a pretty good little tear right here and right here on the back of this passenger seat back. A little scuff up here on the interior here. Nothing major there. Those are just little scratches on that gel coat. Let me go ahead and walk through our windshield here. Over here, our driver's seat. This is where we had some other wear in the upholstery. We've got a pretty good scratch right there. That does not look like that's actually ripped through, but a very good scratch. And then on our bolster right here, we've also got a good scratch in this vinyl. Again, it has not ripped through. Small little puncture maybe right there. Other side, I think we're good. That's a little bit of dirt right there. You got a little scuff right there, or maybe a minor scratch, but just not as not to the extent the other side was. That's just a little stain right there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's about it for the interior as far as wear and tear goes. Obviously, we got a little dirt on that marine mat up there in the floor of that bow, that far forward piece. But otherwise, again, one owner boat, and it kind of shows. So let's raise this engine hatch here before we step off. All right, that's on some gas shocks right there. So that's going to lift up very easily. These are the twin Rotax or Fortec 4-stroke. These are rated at 142 prop horsepower apiece at 7,500 RPMs. This is basically the Rotax 1503 Fortec 4-stroke. It's an open loop water-cooled engine, again rated at 142 horsepower each. 47 engine hours on each. Top speed of this one's going to be about 40 miles per hour. And the best thing about these 150 Rotax engines is they do run on 87 octane. No superchargers, so it does mean you're going to have a lot better, more reliable power with less maintenance. They did offer this boat with twin 200s and 250s. Essentially, they were the exact same engines. They just had superchargers on there. So, in my opinion, honestly, I'm the kind of guy that avoids the superchargers. I prefer the more reliability and lower maintenance. This one, again, 40 miles an hour, in my opinion, that's good speed for this one. But now, if you do want something faster, if you do want one of those superchargers, then obviously this is not the boat for you. Battery switch is right here underneath our engine hatch. That's going to be our single battery right there. It's going to be a 24 Marine Start battery, and that battery switch right there. So Try to give you that full 360-degree tour. Automatic bilge pump is right down below there, kind of in between the two. Again, we have function tested that. And I believe actually that's probably the last thing that we'll be using up here. So I'll go ahead and turn that battery switch off. We're gonna go ahead and lower this. There we go. Now, of course, that filler cushion does easily remove there. I'm just gonna step right over that and onto our swim deck right here. And again, kind of called your attention to some of this scratches in that matting back here. Just do want to point that out to you. We make every effort to represent all of our listings as accurately as possible all the time. So, all right, let's dig into that wear and tear now. Let's start over here on this side. And again, bear with us here. We're kind of having to get creative with our camera holds here, trying to keep this ice pack on here. I'm going to rotate it one time to make sure we can make it through to the end of this one. All right. Just below deck here, I think we had a few little minor marks. See if I can find them here. We got a few little marks right here, kind of behind that swim ladder bracket. And yeah, here it is. We got a small little kind of scuff right here in the gel coat right in there. That's kind of a minor area, which we also try to show you these in photographs, but I will tell you a lot of these are photos just to not show up. This is where I find the video to be helpful, because we can kind of change that camera angle around a little bit on some of these areas. And you know, with the goal of trying to show you these and try to show you an accurate representation of these. A few little marks right in here, another small little gel coat scratch right there, and similar one right here, small little stress crack right here in this corner. And let's see, and then just below our water line right here, this is the only area where we've got some exposed fiberglass on the hull of this one. So right here, this is where some 3M 4200 would be very useful right here. That's a marine adhesive that's rated for above or below the water line. They make it in a fast cure. Takes about 48 hours to fully cure if you buy the fast cure version of that. A little bit of gel coat scratching right in here and right there. But again, this is the one right here. If the boat's going to be in the water for any period of time, more than just an afternoon in the water, this is where you want to throw some 4200 on there to keep that sealed up, to prevent any moisture intrusion down into that fiberglass hull. So, all right, now a few marks on this side. These are actually the more noticeable areas right here. Now with this black, sometimes this black is tough because scratches will show. And that's the case for these. So that's actually into that gel coat. It's through the black gel coat there. That's where you can see that. And here's another one right here where you can see those two marks right there are not going to go anywhere unless you do some gel coat repairs to that. Moving forward, we've got, now these are some much lighter stuff. This is probably just some dirt in here or just water spots. These will likely disappear with a good detail on this one. But we got another one of those kind of glaring marks where it's scratch has kind of gone through the gel coat up there on that black near the front. Gonna go on up here to the bow area. We got a good little mark. These are some stress cracks right here. We've had something that's made an impact right here. It's made a little mark on the rub rail. It's made a good little crack right there on the gel coat. And then we've got those stress cracks that are going to be running mostly from here to here, but we do have a few that kind of extend over right in that area. Now pulling back a little bit, we've got the black and the white gel coat, and then there's actually a little vinyl stripe that's going to be on that border, following that that edge of the white to black. And with that vinyl stripe is kind of what's worn right here. That's what you're seeing. And we do have a little bit of a mark down into that gel coat right here, and also some marks on that vinyl stripe. I think there was another, yeah, this portion of the rub rail also has kind of gotten a little wear right here. Actually, let's go ahead and continue down this side, and then we'll come back and revisit the bow of this one. So again, some marks on that rub rail. That's where an old registration decal was. And let's go on back over here. Yeah, a few other marks in the rub rail here. And then let's go back over here to this side. Small little mark right there in that gel coat. Oh no, that was some dirt. Disappeared on us. That looks like a little water line right there. And yeah, so actually there's 2 spots right here, and I believe this is where there was a repair. See, I don't know if you can kind of see the color slightly different there. I believe that's where a fiberglass repair happened there and right here. And then we return you to that intake on that. You see, there's a small little mark in that gel coat right there just before that intake. And then there were a few spots on the bottom of this one that did have fiberglass repairs. Actually, before we go there, let me step back, show you this black again. So here we've got some marks. Now, yeah, I think the camera's picking this up. That looks like a little transfer from a fender. Notice that's not white like the other side. So likely this was just something that's kind of rubbed off a fender, probably a bit of rubber or plastic, and a good detail is gonna make this go away. We've got a lot of areas of that on this side. Now this one is a little bit of white showing. This one's like more of a scratch in the gel coat, but it just was not as deep because that white is just barely visible. We're not really catching an edge with our fingernail there. This one's a little bit more defined. Even that one, I'm just barely feeling that on my fingernail. So this right here, a lot of this is probably going to disappear with a good detail. This one may also disappear as well. And then I'm not sure how well this shows up, but you've kind of got some similar areas as this. That to me, they kind of look like fender transfers. If they are scratches in the gel coat, they're very minor because you notice they're just not nearly as bright white as those 3 spots on the other side were. So typically those are areas that probably will disappear with a good professional detailing. This one looks like a little bit, not sure if that's visible or not. Looks like a little bit of, like I said, more minor scratching into that gel coat. This one, now notice this one's a little bit of a brighter white. So that might be one that will not disappear after a detail. Some of these more dull ones are less, the ones that are less bright probably will disappear. This one here, okay, that one does look like it is catching a little bit of a groove right there. So those areas, those are probably going to be ones that might not disappear. This one here is a little bit of a brighter white. That one may also hang around. But again, a lot of these other ones, I'm not even sure if these are showing up. We've got some just what appears to be just real light scratches in the gel coat in a few of these areas. On this one right here, I'm not sure if you can see it. We've got what appears to be like a fender transfer, where it's just kind of like taking some of that fender material and just transferred it onto the boat. It's kind of going this way. A few little more defined white marks in here, and those are going to be the more significant scratches in that gel coat. But these other ones look like they'll probably disappear. Like this one here, this is an area, you really get in close up there. You can see we've got some little marks in there. It's hard to tell if that one is a transfer from a fender or if that's a scratch. Similar right in here. Kind of hard to tell if those are scratches or transfers. The other thing was when you back up, those kind of disappear. It's only when you get up close to it at the right angle, those are going to kind of show up. But a little bit of similar. That there also, that looks like something that's gonna, yeah, it's gonna rub right off of there. It's probably a fender transfer. And then this one here, that one, yeah, that one looks more like a little scratch in that gel coat. A little bit more prominent of a white line, but it's also pretty small. That also might be one that disappears. And I think that, yeah, it was a bulk of it. We kind of showed you that one there. So, seems like there was one other area down here. Yeah, like a real minor little gel coat scratching in a few areas right here. And then I'm gonna return us to this bow line right here now. I think this is probably a little bit more noticeable on the other side, but we've got a few areas where it's just a little bit of a brighter, smoother white. That's where there was a fiberglass repair. Here's one right here. We've got And actually what you'll see kind of some gel coat scratches. And then it's gonna go smooth. Well, in that smooth area is where the repair was made. And I'm gonna have to reposition to get over on that side. Go, move back over. Okay, yeah, so here's a good area where we can kind of show you. Bear with my camera work here a little bit, trying to keep this equipment cool so it doesn't shut off on us. Right in there, hopefully we're still rolling here and you can see that. So again, those are gonna be, like right here, this is an area where that fiberglass, again, had a repair. It's nice and smooth there, but then just forward of that, you can kind of see we got some minor scratches in the gel coat there. Another one right in here. Those are just where some repairs were made. And I think there was one area, bear with me here, sorry again for the camera shaking. I think there was one more area. Oh, here it is. Okay, this might be a part 2 of the video. If it is, we apologize. We'll try to splice these together. Our camera went out on us right as we were trying to show you this mark right here. And that's really about it. So if I pull back out, we've kind of covered this side on the black. Again, this is one of those marks that's gonna be there. You've kind of got some minor little scuffs or scratches in that black. This is one that looks like it might hang around, and a few others that, that one there might hang around a little bit. Most of this other stuff I think is gonna shine well when you get a good detail on there. This is those 2 marks that we called your attention to earlier. And then we're kind of back over here where we started on this corner. So that's gonna wrap things up for this one today. Again, this is the 2018 Scarab 255G sport boat, jet propelled sport boat for sale. Again, here near beautiful Norris Lake, Tennessee. Again, this is the 1 owner boat, very low hours on this one. As we do start to wrap up, we do like to remind you, we do not monitor the YouTube comment page. So if you do have any questions about this one, all you gotta do is make the trip over to our website. Again, for your convenience, down in that video description, there's gonna be a direct link to this one. Take you right to our listing page where you're gonna see the asking price, as well as all of our contact information. You can reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email. We don't hide the asking prices from you. It's very available. It'll be one of the first things you see when you make over to the website, but we just don't miss some of the video tours because we know those prices will change between when we list one and when we sell one. But again, for your convenience, down that video description, it's going to take you right to the listing page. So again, this one's 25 feet length overall, 8-foot 4-inch beam, 15-inch draft, rated for 13. The boat itself is 3,660 pounds dry. We do have a 61-gallon fuel tank on board, so the dry weight does not account for any fuel or gear on board. And then, of course, the trailer weight of this one's about 1,285 pounds as well. So you got to factor all those things in whenever you're looking at your tow capacity, whether or not it will work with your vehicle or not. And again, 47 hours on those twin Rotax 1503 4-Tech 4-stroke. Open loop water-cooled engines. I believe those are about 91 cubic inches. And again, they're rated about 142 horsepower a piece, so that's 284 total horsepower for both of those engines combined. Dead rise on this one's about 20 degrees at the transom. And I believe that's going to be it. So again, any questions about this one, please reach out to us through the website, submit an offer, schedule a time to come view it or anything like that. You'll do over there at the website. If you can't view that video description, it's simply yournewboat.com. Click enter and look for this one on the Find Your New Boat page. Now, when you do make it over to the website, you'll be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email. We do like to remind you, if you call us on the phone, you get our voicemail. If you want to return phone call, just keep in mind we're very frequently in areas without cell phone reception. So please take the time, leave us a message, let us know which listing you're looking at, what questions you have, and whenever we either finish with the customer or return to cell service area, we'll be able to return that call, have all those questions answered for you. Also, if you send us an email, if you haven't not gotten an email reply within 1 business day, please check your spam folder. If you don't see anything in a spam folder, then then you might reach out to us by phone or by text. Make sure that email found its way to us. Otherwise, that's it for the public service announcements. 2 things will be coming up over top your screen as we wrap up. One corner is going to be a link to our current listings playlist. If you're not wanting to leave YouTube, but you want to see what else we have available, look for that current listings playlist to pop up. That'll show you just what's currently available. The minute one does get sold, it gets moved over to our sold boat playlist. You can also see both of those playlists at our YouTube channel at youtube.com/yournewboat. And then, of course, the other icons popping up on the other side of your screen is going to be a shortcut to subscribe to our channel, and that will notify you. YouTube will, or Google will actually notify you anytime a new listing is posted and a new video is posted. So again, I thank you again for joining us. This is the 2018 one-owner Scarab 255G sport boat, jet propelled, open bow sport boat for sale again here in East Tennessee, very close to beautiful Norris Lake. I thank you again for joining.